Mark McGovern is the Director of Park Operations for the Ralph Wilson Park Conservation. As the park undergoes a massive renovation in partnership with the City of Buffalo, Mark is developing the sustainable policies and protocols guiding the maintenance and long-term care of the park's facilities and grounds. With over 35 years of experience in landscape management, development, and operation, Mark brings a wealth of knowledge and a passion for creating welcoming, safe, engaging, and accessible public spaces. Before joining the Ralph Wilson Park Conservation, Mark served 18 years as the Director of Construction for the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, overseeing multiple vertical development projects and campus assets. His experience with sustainable development, coupled with his commitment to environmental stewardship and community, has a foundation commitment to ensuring that this significant investment at Ralph Wilson Park thrives for generations to come as an important piece of civic infrastructure along the shores of Lake Erie. Mark also holds degrees in landscape development from Alfred State College, an environmental studies degree from Alfred State, and an urban planning master's degree from the University at Buffalo. He's excited to present on the design, construction, shipment, and placement of the highly anticipated pedestrian bridge connecting Ralph Wilson Park to Buffalo's Lower West Side and beyond. So for our fourth speaker of the night, let's get loud and welcome the visionary, Mark McGovern.
Thank you. All right, thanks Buffalo Architecture Foundation. They've been great partners on this project. This is a complex, large, massive project. I'm going to talk about one little aspect of it, the pedestrian bridge that crosses the I-190. View of City Hall from the bridge itself, and I agree you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. This is a view of the park in 1932, freshly seeded, Erie Canal, City Hall. The seaplane ramp still exists. This was previously underwater. It was created during the Colonel Ward pumping station construction. So, fast forward, community benefit here. When Ralph Wilson Jr. passed, the original owner of Buffalo Bills made a $1 billion commitment to his foundation to spend $500 million in Detroit, $500 million in his Buffalo. Through a visioning process, 2018, Michael Van Valkenburg led the community through a visioning process. Existing conditions 2018, design concept 2011, 4 major tenets: shoreline resiliency, flood mitigation, habitat uplift, and enhanced visitor access and amenities. That's where this bridge falls in. Existing conditions, right? Improve access across a pedestrian bridge. Non-ADA compliant, doesn't feel very safe. I don't know if I'd let my chickens run around in here. It doesn't say welcoming. Wasn't ADA compliant. It was identified as a barrier to access to the park. A design competition was run for the University of Buffalo, Bob Shibley and his group were running that. SBP out of New York City won the design for a safe, comfortable, welcoming, 260-foot long, 220-foot steel frame structure to span the 190. You're looking there from the park towards the west side. Too bad there's no volume. We've all heard powder-actuated pile driving going on, the sound of development. I'm a big proponent of a lot of this work taking place on site. You don't get the benefit of seeing, but it's foundationally, no pun intended, important to the longevity of the product. So here's pile being driven. Not everything was driven 90 degrees, a lot of offset pile. This is a rock socket, which the rebar is drilled actually into the bedrock about 3 or 4 feet, filled with grout. This nut and bolt system is put on top of it. Here is the south abutments pile cap and rebar cages. So this is what the abutments of the bridge reside on. This is actually 3-foot thick pile cap, a lot of rebar, a lot of people working on it. We had a very favorable weather conditions this past winter for building. Hopefully we got more of that coming. June 2024, The abutment, you can see this elevation that the bridge will reside on is 30 feet up in the air. This is a retaining wall that holds back a significant amount of soil that will create a sledding hill that will give you a big vista as you walk east to west across the bridge. 4,000-mile journey. It was manufactured in Italy by a corporation named Simili. On June 2024, it was loaded on a big across the Atlantic vessel. Actually landed in Albany 10 days quicker than anticipated because they didn't pick up any portages along the way. Like normally you pick up somebody else will ship you something with you. This is leaving up the Hudson River from the port of Coymans, just south of Albany, July 5th, 2024. These are 2 Jeff boat barges, 30 feet wide, 195 feet long, 195 feet long, 62 foot long, 1,200 horsepower tugboat pushing up the way. So we came up the Erie Canal in 10 days you can notice the difference between the previous slide and this slide. Oh, there's other boats. It's very narrow. We ran a very big campaign to get people out along the way to look at it. This is a journey I was on from East Henrietta across the Genesee River to Albion. Here's the view from the wheelhouse, 4 inches of clearance, 4 inches of clearance. This is a pedestrian bridge abutment that the Ralph Wilson Foundation is funding in Brockport. So it was a fine balance between not people coming out waving along the way, right? This was funded by Ralph Wilson. Part of my job was to carry the Bills flag. I had a little Bluetooth speaker playing the shout song. The guys on the boat were like, okay, man, enough of that, But people along the way were into it. I was saying it's a fine balance between being just below the bridge and not dragging on the ground. So 716, our area code, July 16th, we were to land at the shores of Ralph Wilson Park to a lot of fanfare. This is a 660-foot-ton crane to lift the bridge sections off. Okay, we're coming up. Here's noon on 716. Oh my God, there's a storm. This is lake level. Boom. Then all of a sudden it dropped 4 feet. That other picture was us in the mud. These are some self-propelled mobile transporters. This guy is literally controlling the front axle by a joystick. These wheels not only go forward, but they can turn 90 degrees, so this is getting into position. On the far right is on October 5th, shut down the I-190 from 9 o'clock to 11 in the morning, place this massive 260-foot structure. And just last week, we were pouring concrete on the deck. So lots of blue skies when you cross the bridge, and it will support yourself and your family and your bikes and your scooters and all that fun stuff. So can't wait to welcome you back across the bridge when it opens up.